Hit the live button. Hit the live. We're live. Whatever. Alright.
Question for you. Are you struggling to stay aligned with your goals? Are you like most people, stuck in reactive living, feeling stuck, feeling overwhelmed, or unsure of how to turn your vision into reality? Well, guess what? You are not alone. Oh, and by the way, it's not a lack of motivation, it's a lack of structure that's keeping you from stepping into your full potential. In this video, we're talking about why motivation is not your problem, structure is. Hello and welcome. We are Zay Faith and Devan Edwards. We are the founders of Total Freedom Network, and we support ambitious entrepreneurs and leaders to restructure their lives so that they can eliminate self sabotage, elevate their energy, and create success that's both aligned and fulfilling. Through our accountability consulting system, we support our clients to master themselves, get out of their own way, and maximize their leadership impact so that they can lead with purpose in every area of their life. So let's kick this off with something that people rarely say out loud. You are not lazy. You may be overwhelmed, scattered. You may even be drowning in responsibilities that you didn't even sign up for.
Exactly, exactly. That's crazy, Zay. And it's crazy because we hear it all the time. It's like, oh, I just need to get motivated. I need more discipline. I'll do it when it slows down. But the thing is, like, that's not motivation that's missing. It's just structure. And without structure, it's like trying to build a house during a hurricane. And you know, some of you guys know about hurricane season. You might be doing a lot, but none of it's anchored, none of it's grounded. And that's what creates that emotional chaos.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, think about it. When there's no structure, what else takes over? There's stress, there's self doubt, that voice in your head that says, you're falling behind, or you should be doing more. And when that becomes our norm, you may enter what we call the burnout loop. You may be pushing, collapse, you may be beating up yourself, and then it's on repeat, the same thing. And that's not because you're unmotivated, it's because your life isn't designed to hold what you are carrying. So we do workshops all the time, and most of those ambitious high achievers, they tend to tell us the same things. I wake up exhausted, and then I scroll through all of my stress, and then I try to fix it with a 3 minute morning routine that I saw on a social media reel. And we tell them the same thing. It's every single class. It's the same response that your nervous system, it doesn't need a trend. It needs structure. You need structure. And you get to have the kind of structure that holds you even whenever life gets lifey. um, the lack of structure in your life, it creates emotional chaos. It creates anxiety. It creates worry. And it creates the burnout cycles that you may be living in.
Big facts. And so here's something that we could do. Let's put some numbers to this. So I got up some numbers. I was doing some research beforehand, and according to the American Psychological Association, nearly 80% of people report feeling stuck in stress-related behavior patterns, but less than 10% have a structured plan to shift out of it. Listen, all right? So here's what we teach in regards to this. Structure isn't really about having a rigid, color coded calendars like, oh, I'll do this, that makes you feel like a robot. It's really about building that rhythm that supports how you move best. It supports how we move best because only we know ourselves are the best at the core of our being. We know ourselves the best, and because when your structure when your structure in your life aligns with your energy and values, that's literally when the momentum's gonna kick in. And more importantly, that peace that you're seeking, it becomes more predictable, and just not just a rare moment that you have to earn. It's like, oh, I'm doing this so I can do this, but why not just be in that moment of doing it, you know? And so there's a I want to share something. There was, I think it was yesterday, not yesterday, the day before, and I found myself having to prioritize re-energizing myself before beginning work. And so what do you mean, Devin? What do you mean? What I mean is that the night before that, I stayed up late to the early morning, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm good. I did enough work to be out of it, so I was like, okay, I'm ready to go sleep now. But I wasn't ready to wake up. I wasn't ready to wake up, and because I didn't have enough energy to wake up and do what I set out to do. But the thing is, I did set out to do something. I had a structure in place. I had a list of actionables waiting for me at a certain time. But I gave myself opportunity to renegotiate that time and renegotiate my energy, because I know that if I woke up and just try to shower and all of that and just go straight into work, it wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have been as efficient as I was if I just fueled myself in the correct manner, did my morning rituals, and actually brought the best of me to the table. And so I think that's a lesson for all of us as well, is that whenever you have structure in life, that structure is going to relate, that make sure that structure relates to your energy and your values. Make sure there is equivalent exchange of what you're bringing to your life and bringing to the world around you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so if you're watching this, we hope to inspire you, and we request that you please give yourself permission that you can intentionally organize your life in a structure and a system that works specifically for you. You don't
Yeah,
need
facts.
to do your life like anybody else. This is your life, and you are smart enough to create aligned and authentic habits that work just for you. So you can type this in the comment, if you're watching live, or write it down on a piece of paper that you can see throughout the day, or you can reply to this email if you're one of our on our newsletter, and just say it out loud right now. Say this with me.
Say it loud and proud.
Freedom isn't the absence of structure. Freedom isn't the absence of structure. It is
See.
the result of the right structure. Say it again.
Slow motion this way. No, real talk though. Freedom comes from structure. I'm gonna sing it. Freedom comes from structure. No,
Okay.
all right. No,
Yeah.
I'll sing it better
So,
still, but you know.
if you've been waiting on motivation to kick in, maybe it's time to build something that holds and supports you, instead of you just hoping that your willpower will show up. Willpower actually
Yeah.
does run out. So, creating systems and creating structure in place is something that's going to work every single time.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're about to walk you through in this live as well. Like how to design the right kind of structure that actually fits your life and not just being someone else's highlight reel on Instagram or Facebook, you know. You get to be in your life, not just be living vicariously through someone else. And so here are some simple practical things that you can actually do to actually intentionally structure your life and build predictable peace, confidence, and momentum. And so one of the things I kind of mentioned before that I do is like the morning ritual. But we want you to start with a weekly reset ritual. So, and this is something you can do throughout the day within the week to start off. And so what that would look like is setting aside 30 to 60 minutes every week and asking yourself, okay, what day feels like the reset to start fresh? Like, because every week you have to start fresh. Like, it. would you prefer artificial vegetables or fresh vegetables? You want to start fresh. If you're starting your health journey, you want to start with fresh vegetables. I don't know why that came up, but that's so funny. You want to have fresh water, all right? Fresh everything. Okay, and this is going to enable you to review your priorities, your wins, and energy leaks, right? Because in those moments where you need to reset, you're going to find what led up to you wanting to reset, and the actual desired outcome you want from that reset. And so ask yourself, what's the one thing that if done this week would make everything else easier? What's the one thing that if done this week would make everything easier? And this is something that this is a question that's gonna create another thought pattern, a thought habit that's gonna help create predictable peace by giving your mind a roadmap. And so once you have that, once you give yourself your mind a roadmap, you can actually see the next steps. If you find yourself like just like wondering.
Yes, yes, yes. Another thing that you can do that is super simple in order to begin to structure your life is to time block your priorities,
Oh
not
yeah.
just your task. And I know that, if you're in the productivity space or if you're on this journey to get, restructure your life, you probably hear this priority, priority. What does that mean? And it means, what is the most important thing? Like Devan said, like, what is that thing that is going to make this week easier, this day easier if I
Yeah.
just handle and attack this one thing? So when we say time block your priority and not just the task, don't just write to-do list. For some people, a majority of people, it's not as effective when you don't have a system around that in order to execute that to-do list. So what you can do is schedule. Oh gosh, excuse me.
Need some milk.
I think I need some water. Schedule your most important things first. You can put it in your calendar if you work off a calendar, whether that's digital or a paper calendar that you may have. But
Yeah,
schedule
facts.
in, say, like an appointment. When you go to the doctor, you just don't show, unless you're going to the ER. But even then, you wait your turn. But you don't just show up and say, "Oh, I feel like having a dentist appointment today." No, you have to schedule that in, and whenever they have space, you go whenever your appointment is. So just like whatever your priority is, you schedule in, say, "Hey, I really want to get this done. I'm going to have a meeting or I'm going to have an appointment with myself this day, this time, from this time to this time." Most of our dentist appointments are like 30
Yeah.
minutes or maybe an hour if you're getting a procedure. And you do the same thing for your personal task, for your personal priorities. And then you can break it up. You can have focus blocks for your deep work. And when we say deep work, I'll say, so for us today, we were working on a lot of content. And so that was our focus time. And we went super deep on some upcoming content that we have coming out or some master classes that we have coming out. We were really deep on some content. Then we have another example would be having admin blocks. You don't want to say, "Oh, I'm going to work from 9 to 5" as an entrepreneur, and you don't categorize your day because you don't want to just be checking emails all day. Then you're not going to actually get any deep work done. So if you have admin blocks for checking emails or small tasks like mailing something off or just something like important that's more admin, but it's not like deep work where you're being creative or helping a client or problem solving. Those are two different types of priorities. And then also, we can't forget about that self care. So, even or just, I would say, maximizing your role, like having white space for thinking time, even if it's just like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
at work but I just need some space for creativity or some things that get to get done. I know, like, whenever I am like organizing my space, it really helps me to reset, and it does become a priority because I cannot work in a messy environment. So having just some time, white space to where, reorganizing my space is very relaxing to me. But then also I feel like I'm productive because but I don't count that as my focus block for deep work, and it's definitely not an admin task because It's not like getting phone calls done or anything like that. It's literally me creating space for myself to rest, but then also think, but it's still like a task. So you can break it up, and I'm just using these examples. You can come up whatever labels or whatever you want to call it, but make sure you actually time block your priorities and not just the task. And this helps to build momentum because when, if you don't do this, you may be wasting your energy on decision fatigue. So whenever you tell yourself like, "Hey, on this day from this time, during this time frame, I'm going to be doing this," and then you make yourself do it, you don't have to show up to work and be like, "Oh man, I have so much to do. What am I supposed to be doing?" You already know because you already made an appointment with yourself in advance.
Oh yeah, so much facts. And on top of that, oh, within that, yeah, this goes back to what I was saying about structure being about anchoring and creating having a foundation. So you want to have a like what you call a morning anchor routine or foundational routine, and what that involves is that you have three non-negotiables. Say three non-negotiables. Okay, three non-negotiables, and that could be like okay, an example would be me getting up. I'm stretching. I'm meditating. I'm visioning how my day gets to look. Make it showering as I'm just definitely non-negotiable. Or having some water on your body in some form. All right, it has to be done. Okay, and so you want to keep it short and energizing though. All right, it has to be like 15 to 30 minutes max, and just literally just set the time and block it and like go run. Like just challenge yourself. Make it fun as well because usually what's fun and what can be done for a longer period of time, that's what's going to help like you start building that confidence within those non-negotiables and start helping you start your day with intention and not just reaction. So you're not just waking up like and then you forget what you have to do. You're waking up like ah and then you move into the next step. It's like it flows better. Like I used to do kung fu, but it flows better. And this is really important because you don't want to be in reaction mode. Everything gets to be intentional. That's what living is about. It's about being intentional.
Yep, yep. Another thing that is super simple that you can start to do in order to build more structure around your life is setting clear boundaries to for stop and start times. I know sometimes, especially as entrepreneurs, we kind of just we feel like the business is our life. And sometimes we forget about ourselves. Sometimes we forget about, our family. Sometimes we forget about just other things in life. So something that it can be super simple and super supportive. It's just decide when your workday starts and when it ends. And I will say,
Oh
even
yeah,
in my past,
facts.
it's been it was hard at one point because I felt like if I wasn't pulling 12, 14-hour days, then I felt like oh I'm not working, even though as an entrepreneur there's always something to be done. So it took a lot of effort for us to be like, hey, we're not working on the weekends anymore. Of course, if we're in a deep project, because there are times where we're working on projects and it just takes 14, 16-hour days literally, because of the chaos that happens when we're doing like big events or
So
something
it's
like
sad.
that.
So a side note, that was actually a big deal when we decided that. By the way,
It was
that was a big
huge.
deal.
It was huge.
That actually, I'm not gonna. I'm remembering it now. That actually took a
Yeah.
big weight off me. That's crazy.
It was crazy,
I
and
was
I
like,
was
oh wait, we can
insane.
give
And I'm
ourselves
like,
this
we,
break. I was like, what?
yeah, we were literally. I know I was super
Oh, that's
obsessive.
crazy.
Like we have to be looking at the screen. We're business owners. We have to like. We were working 6, 7 days
Yeah,
a week for real. And
because I
even
wasn't
on the
enrolled straight
fifth
away.
day, like
I
we were
definitely
trying to
wasn't.
like clean up and do like chores and stuff. Like we were
Yeah.
working like literally. It was crazy. And now, I mean, I think I probably do have a little bit of PTSD from that because it's kind of like even now when I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to work. But now, having, even again having those moments of like the projects where we are working hard and then or we're in a season right now where we are, and we're just in a different energy. We're not doing a big event like this month right now. We still have our workshops and stuff like that, but it doesn't require 16 hours. So it's like, okay, if I'm only giving myself 4 hours today, or some days I'm only working 2 hours a day, we show up, we do our work, and because we are whole beings, we're not just our job. And
Mm-hmm.
so really stepping up to the plate, and allowing ourselves to have clear boundaries to say, I'm a whole human, and yes, this business gets to get effective productivity when I'm working it, but when I'm not working it, I get to be working on me. I get to be enjoying life. Like I was like we were obsessed, like we were not living, we were not having any fun. It was crazy. So make sure that you protect your evening energy, or what you may be opposite. You may be more productive at night, but whenever you're not working, protect that energy for your rest and your relationships, for your personal time, for your reflection. So restoration, relationships, and reflection. Don't have your whole day open to work. I'm starting work at this time, I'm off to work at this time, and shift your energy to do other things that life offers. And this builds peace by separating your work from your life, so that you can actually be a whole functional being and you can recharge.
Exactly, exactly. And here's another major thing that's important that we get to do, and that's daily check-ins. I
Yeah.
call it the free win check-in. And so at the end of each day, like you can do this after this live if you want, wherever you're tuning in from, because it's probably not the end of the day where you're tuning in from, or maybe it is. But at the end of each day, jot down three wins, big or small. All right, and within these wins, you're gonna this within identifying these wins on a daily basis, you're gonna find yourself like retraining your brain to actually focus on more so on progress than perfection. You're not gonna eventually you're not gonna start saying, "Oh, I didn't do this." That's not gonna be the first thing that comes out your mouth. He's like, the first thing that's gonna come out your mouth is, "Well, I achieved this, and that was on my list, and I set out to achieve it, and I did that. This happened. However, I did this." So use the energy of what you actually did to move you forward into the next day, into the next moment, because then the negative energy, that negative the shoulda woulda couldas, it's not gonna serve you. It's just not. And you don't want to be stagnant. You don't want to be unstuck. You want to be in a flow. You want to be in rhythm, building momentum, and that's what's gonna lead to you rewriting that self doubt. And removing that self doubt, and actually walking into self trust, trusting yourself more, and being quicker with how you move throughout your life.
Wow. So, believe it or not, but this is just part one of the Restructure Your Life masterclass that we'll be hosting next week. So we have a masterclass coming up. It's called Restructuring Your Life, Design the Life That Actually Works for You. And it will be live on April 23rd at 4 p.m. EST. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to host an in-depth session on restructuring your life. So this is like part one of it. So, if you're ready to create the structure that supports your success, check out the link in the bio or in the descriptions, or, check the comments of this video. Or if it's in the email, it should be in the text. Go back to the original email.
Yeah.
This masterclass is to transform your chaos into clarity, and to build the foundation for your best life based on what you want, how you want it, when you want it. So if you have any questions, if you can't find the link, and just go ahead and text us 757-780-8585. If it's after April 23rd, we'll have the replay. So ask us about restructuring your life masterclass. But everything should be in the link in our bio. So go to our link in the bio. It's on our link tree. And just remember that motivation is not your problem. Motivation is not your problem. Structure is the problem. And so that's why we are hosting this Restructure Your Life Masterclass where you'll get more practical tips and insights so you can begin to implement the strategies that we share with you to restructure your life. And the next masterclass that we're hosting is next week on April 23rd at 4 p.m. EST live, or you can request the recap of it. So your next step is to sign up for the Restructure Your Life Masterclass.
Yes, yes, yes. Remember, sign up. Okay, but as you sign up, do this thing just for us before you leave, right? Share your biggest takeaway on what we shared tonight and what tips stood out to you the most from this video. I'm very curious. Was it the anchor in the routine? Was it the time blocks? Was it the free win check-in? Like what was it? Share what stood out to you, your biggest takeaway. Share those tips in the comments below, okay? We thank you. See you on the next one. See you on the next video. And take care. I'm sure I pressed the stop button.